Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I pray that all of you are well. Welcome to day 5 of our Quran reflections with Sayyid Zaidi. We're so honored to have the opportunity to reflect about the ayahs of the Holy Quran. Without wasting any more time, we would like to request Sayyid to come and begin. And just another reminder that if anyone has any questions, even the ones that you guys had yesterday that were left unanswered, you guys can definitely ask them after the session is over, and in the meantime as well. And without wasting any more time, you would like to welcome him. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajal.
Thank you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد ثم الصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين لا سيما سيدي ومولاي بقية الله في الأرضين روحي وأرواح العالم الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you're all doing well, inshallah. Continuing with our discussion, yes, first of all, as was mentioned, that if anyone has any questions, even from previous sessions, please feel free to ask. And also, yes, the longer questions, it's probably better just for the flow of our session to keep them from later. But as we've seen in the past few sessions, that sometimes, there's just we're talking about something, and there's just a small question that pops up in your mind that can be easily incorporated into what's being said. So if that's the case, please feel free. If you're not sure, just send the question. If it's even during the session, in case you think that you won't remember it later. So feel free. Basically, as previously, this is supposed to be a pretty informal thing, right? It's a place where we can come together, although yes, it's online, so it's not ideal. But still, we can come together, we can discuss a few things. And that's why, anyways, we'll continue, inshallah. So if there's anything, please feel free. So the verses that I wanted to kind of reflect upon or mention today are from Surah Ankaboot, which is Surah number 29, verses 2, 3 through 4. So 2, 3, and 4. Over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in the form of a question reminding us and telling us how things go in this world. And how he plans to run this world, and what are some of the things that we should expect in this world, and so on and so forth. The one thing that he highlights over here is, as we'll see in the verse, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم أحسب الناس, do people really think أحسب الناس أن يتركوا, that they will be left, ترك, that they will be left, أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا, that they will be left after they've said that we believe, آمنا, وهم لا يفتنون, and that they will not be tested. So basically, the Quran is asking this question where it's saying that the answer is obvious. Basically, it's trying to tell us that it will be the case that if you come and say amanna, that we believe, that it will not be the case that you will just be left alone, and as long as you said we believe, you're good to go. There, we Allah, whatever, we have nothing to do with you. It's okay, you're good to go as long as you said amanna. The verse is trying to say, no, that's not how it works. Do people really think that they, just that they say we believe and that's it, they'll be good to go, that they will not be tested? And then it continues in the next verse, whereas the reality is وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Whereas the reality is that even the people before them, we have tested them, we've tried them. And what was the result of that? فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. And through that testing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala definitely knows, finds out the people who are truthful and the people who are not so truthful. What are they not so truthful or truthful with? Is their iman. When they say amanna, is it the case that they truly believe or not? This is one of those verses that I'm not sure, I don't remember, but we might have mentioned before in our sessions. But it's so important. It's so important that it applies to every single one of us, for sure, no doubt. And it applies very often as well. It's not just, once a year it's applied and it goes. Because everything that we do, every decision that we make, every turn, every corner in this life, wherever we go, whatever we do, there's decisions that we need to make. There's tests that come up in front of us. There's difficulties that come. It's sometimes it's I don't know, not finding someone to marry. Sometimes it's I can't find a job. Sometimes I can't get an income going. Sometimes it's I'm married but I can't have kids. Sometimes it's I have kids but I don't know how to raise the kids. Sometimes I've raised the kids but now I don't know what happened, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. So many different, sometimes it's some sort of oppression going on. Sometimes it's some sort of depression going on. All these different things that we see and we feel and we experience in our life. And this is, again, as I mentioned, this is not just a once in a while kind of thing. This is an everyday kind of thing. Um, but understanding that some of these things, yes, some of these things might be because, I made a mistake. I don't know. I jumped off the roof and now my foot is broken or my leg is broken, and I can't say, oh, this is a test from Allah. No, this is, yeah, in some way it still is a test, but there's not something that Allah initiated, right? This is something that perhaps I just kind of jumped off the roof for whatever reason I did. So yes, some of the things are results of directly things that we've done. But then there's even those are tests in a way, yes. But other things are things that Allah sometimes tests us with different sort of things. Now, the important thing over here, the important thing in the test, where the verse number 3 says, وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ, whereas we had definitely tested before them as well, the people before them as well. And this part, fa meaning so. And therefore, because we've tested people before, and therefore, and so, لَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا, that Allah will therefore know, or Allah knows the one who are truthful in their iman. And وَلَا يَعْلَمَنَّ, and he knows the ones who are liars or not so truthful. It's not bad to sometimes just point out some of the things in the Arabic grammar. If we could please go back to the Arabic on the screen as well, just in case people don't have it open. There we go. Where are we? Verse number 2. There we go. Thank you. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ قَبْلَهُمْ فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ. You see how, so if it just wanted to say that Allah knows, it would say فَلَيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ. But you see that noon at the end, فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ, that noon at the end with the tashdid or the shadda, whichever one you call, however you call it, that in Arabic grammar emphasizes like certainty or definitely or emphasis. فَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ. That means Allah will definitely know the ones who are truthful. And then if you go further, وَلَا يَعْلَمُ it could have said, if it said, وَلَا يَعْلَمُ الْكَاذِبِينَ, it would also be correct. It would be correct Arabic, meaning that, and he will know the kadhibin, or the liars. But it says, وَلَا يَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ, that he will definitely know. And I think, I'm not sure the word that they used over here in the translation, but I think it was assuredly or something. So for sure, some places they say, what's the, I'll speak to the, yeah, assuredly. That's, I don't even know that was word, assuredly. Anyways, meaning that it is something that's for sure, right? Something that's for sure. So just a little point over there too, and it comes in different places where it really, brings out the meaning for a person. And that is why I would highly recommend if the brothers and sisters could take some time out to, learn something about Arabic, something about the Quran. I know it's difficult. I know there's not a lot of time, but there's a lot of courses that have these mafahim courses. They're long. They're about 3 books long. Will take at least a few months. But at the end of it, for the people who are willing and wanting to understand, they would have made quite a bit of progress. And I don't know if, inshallah, if there's enough people interested, maybe that's something that we ourselves can look into as well, to do that sort of a course. But it's very useful. The people who just kind of do it and then don't really care about it or don't have time for it, then usually go back to not knowing anything. But at least it gives the opportunity for those who actually want to learn and want to build on this relationship with the Quran and want to be able to understand directly from the Quran, as opposed to having to rely on the translations. Of course, not everything, but at least having a good idea of it. Anyways, so these different things, these different tests that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is promising us almost over here, and there's promises in other places as well that we will definitely test you. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ. This is not over here, sorry, but I think if I remember correctly, it must be in Surah Baqarah. If we could just go Surah Baqarah, maybe Surah Baqarah, try 154, 155. Thank you so much. If we could actually go to the Arabic as well, I just want to point, we can just go to the English first, if that, 155. There you go. Okay, 155. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ. Yeah. So this verse, you see, this word, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ. See the noon with the tashdid or the shadda over there as well? Exact same meaning. And the lam before the noon, وَلَا, la. This lam as well, it signifies emphasis. So look, there's double emphasis over here that we will definitely test you. Now, if you go to the if you go to the English translation, just to understand what it's saying, basically it's saying that we will definitely. So see, when you read the translation, just say we will surely. It's okay, you understand surely, but if you understand these things in the Arabic, it will actually pop out and it will like show how much emphasis that it's not just a surely, it's a definitely. We will definitely test you. All of you, all of you mu'mineen, all of you people out there, you will be tested. Sometimes it will be because of fear. Sometimes it will be because of hunger. Sometimes it will be because of loss of property. Sometimes it will be loss of lives. Sometimes it will be loss of um, blessings. And then it says, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. But give glad tidings, congratulate the ones who are patient, are able to be patient in the face of these tests. So again, going back to our sort of our verse as well, وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ, that these are things أحسب الناس, do people really think that it's just a walk in the park? That they can just come say whatever they want to? Oh, yes, I believe in Allah. Oh, yes, I believe in Allah. Or they can just say, oh, I don't believe in Allah. And that's it. It doesn't have any consequences. It won't have any, like, there's no sort of checks and balances in this world. They can do whatever they want. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون, that they will just be does. And now when you look at today's world, right? You look at today's world, you look at your own life, you look at the different way that I'm being tested, the different things that are, and then this is after reading these verses, like for example, the one we read over here, or the one we pointed out in Surah Baqarah, then I need to understand that the test will be there. So I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't, get worried. I shouldn't get depressed. I shouldn't get, no, this is what life is about. Life is never meant to be a walk in the park. Life was never meant to be this, this cushy kind of life where I don't know worries. No, it was never meant to be like that. So if I'm expecting that, right? Imagine my sort of the way I look at life is that's how I imagine life, that there's not going to be any difficulties, there's not going to be any tests. And then therefore, when the tests do come or the difficulties do come, then all of a sudden I start getting worried, right? Like, where did this come from? What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something, did I make a mistake? Why am I having this? What is going on? And that's when we start going into this territory of, did someone do black magic on me? Did someone, kiसी की नजर लग गई? No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already told you, yes, there is truth to if I make mistakes, then there'll be natural consequences of it. Just like we said, if I jump off the roof, then yes, I will break my foot. So that is there. But other than that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told me over and over and over in the Quran that listen, the purpose you were created is to be tested. And on top of that, there will certainly be tests. You will certainly be tested. You certainly will be tried in this world. So don't be surprised when it comes around. Just knowing that this is the ideology, this is what the message that the Quran is trying to put forward would make a huge difference in our lives, in my life, if I know that this is something that is around the corner. This is something that I will be tested with, right? It makes a huge difference in seeing how life is or approaching life, that I've never imagined life to be this kind of, a walk in the park. It's just going to be very smooth. There will not be any difficulties. No. And then on top of that, I feel like I start thinking that I'm the one who controls these things. That if I did my things right, then there will not be any difficulties. If I did this, then I would not be in the test that I'm in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I will test you. Don't think that I'm gonna, it's just without any, it's just a get out of jail free pass. You can just walk around, do whatever, however it is. No, no, no. This is the place where you're going to be tested. If you want to be able to freely walk around, if you want to be able to just have a vacation, if you want to be able to do all that, then do what you need to do in this world. And then once you leave this world, and then over there for eternity, you can enjoy whatever you need to enjoy. But this is not a place for that. The Quran is telling us over and over that this is not the sort of perspective, this is not what the expectation that you should have. Now, sometimes as the verses that we had, we don't need to switch over to there, but just in any case, in case anyone wants to write the reference down, it was Surah Baqarah, verses 154, 155, and I think 156 as well. Why are the pious people tested more than the sinful ones? Um, it might not be true. That might be true, might not be true. One reason it might be true is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the pious people, if they're getting closer to God, then Allah wants them to be able to get even closer. And there's no going from grade 1 to grade 2, or grade 2 to grade 3, or grade 5 to grade 6 without being tested. Right? These are things that we see in life. These are things that we experience in life. These are principles that we're okay with. We would never expect our child to be able to go from first grade to second grade without a test. or fifth grade to sixth grade without a test, or us being able to get into university without a test, or be able to graduate from university without a test, right? So these are things that we're kind of used to, and we agree with them, and we live with them, and we're okay with them. So similarly, it could be the case that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every time a person's getting closer, he wants their tests to be more difficult, and therefore they're being tested more often. That's one thing. But another thing that is very important, very, very important, and to know with regards to the test is that sometimes, see, this is another thing about the perspective that we think that if we're in difficulty, that we're being tested. And look at my neighbor, look at my family friend, look at that other person. They are having a blast. I don't know, have a big house. They have no job issues, they don't have no family issues, they have no food issues, they have no safety issues, they have no future issues. Everything is perfect in their lives. First of all, usually that's not the case. It might seem like it from far away. And secondly, the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests, I forget the verse where it is, but um, forgetting the Arabic of it, but it ends with بالشر والخير, fitna. So basically, it's saying that the verse is saying, and I can look it up, inshallah. If someone can remind me when we're done, I'll look that up for anyone who wants to write that reference down. بالشر والخير fitna. That's what I believe towards the end of it was. Anyways, the meaning of that is that Allah tests you with difficulty and He tests you with ease. Don't think that this person, that I'm not sure what word was used. Let me just pull up the chat. And then the sinful ones. Why are the sinful ones not tested? No, everyone's tested. Their test might be in a different way. Sometimes if people go too far, whether on the good side or the bad side, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala kind of, either really likes them or stops really liking them. So if a person is, going away from Allah and they're rejecting God, they're rejecting God, they're rejecting God, they're rejecting God, at some point, God maybe plays along and says, okay, you know what? Here's a little more blessing for you. Here's a little more blessing for you. And because of those blessings, they become more and more self-centered, and they think it's their efforts that are getting them all this, and they start actually moving further and further away from God. So this is a person who is being tested, who's being tested. Every moment is a test. They're being given these extra blessings, whether it's material blessings or whatever shape form you can imagine blessings in. But they're being giving these blessings, and we are thinking that I am the religious one. I am the one who does namaz. I am the one who does this, and yet my life is so difficult. That person doesn't do this. That person doesn't do that. That person never follows any rules, yet they're living the life. So understanding, first of all, that sometimes it's difficult. It's not the case that how I see people's life is how it truly is. That's one thing. The other thing is sometimes thinking that I am doing everything right, so why am I being tested? Making sure that I actually know Islam like it's supposed to be. I'm following Islam like it's supposed to be. I'm doing the things that's supposed to be. So that could be a question for us sometimes. And then lastly, knowing that the test of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just through, the harsh things or the difficult things, but it can be through ease as well. And these tests obviously are of varying levels. Now, the biggest test that we're seeing nowadays going on is with these poor, oppressed, dear brothers and sisters of ours in Palestine. Look at the brutality. Look at there's absolutely no shame, no even hiding the agenda anymore. It's literally like a bunch of animals, worse than animals, have absolutely no values, have absolutely no no sort of whatever you want to call it, no piety. No piety is like a far-fetched idea. There's no values whatsoever, no criteria whatsoever, right? If it's across the border, then it has absolutely no worth. It's worthless. So, and people claiming such sort of things in an attempt to get closer to God, or saying that this is the religion of God that has told us to do this. So, absolute vicious animals. And look at the other side, being poor people being oppressed, like there's no limit to it. There's no limit to it. These people, if you see how they're living life, and it's not like they're saying, okay, it's Ramazan, but we're in a difficulty. No, these people are fasting. And you go look at their iftar, you go look at their suhoor. They don't have a place to sit, they don't have anything to eat. There are children who are dying of malnutrition. There's no safety. People are being picked up, people are being killed, not just men, not just older people, children, women, men, women, everyone. um, imagine that I was in that situation, right? Imagine that if I were being tested with that, and now compare the test that I have in life compared to those, right? And when you see the videos of these people, you see the way they're reacting. A lot of times you see people saying Alhamdulillah. A lot of times you see people saying, He is the Ni'mal, Allahu Ni'mal Mawla wa Ni'mal Wakil, that He is the best of Mawlas, He is the best of ones who looks after, He's the best of wakils. What kind of iman in this? This is what the Quran is talking about. وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ, that give good news to these people who are patient in the face of difficulties. الَّذِينَ إِذَا جَاءَتْهُم مُّصِيبَةٌ قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. So this verse also continues after the verses that we looked at in Surah Baqarah. So maybe a good idea to وإذا أصابتهم مصيبة, sorry, it's a جاءت. وإذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. So understanding that there will be tests, there will be different levels of tests. And there are people today in this world who are facing those tests and the most difficult of tests, and yet they are coming out with passing with flying colors. They're doing really well on their test. They're standing, they're steadfast, they're patient, and they're taking these difficulties on with the iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسَ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا. Do people think that they will be left alone just by saying that they believe? وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ, and that they will not be tested. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to inshallah have the right perspective about all these different things, about the Islamic ideology, about how the world is going to be. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to be able to understand our tests and inshallah deal with them in the best way, shape, and form, whether it's a test with ease or it's a test with difficulty. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of this holy month, for the sake of these nights, increase our love and our relationship with the Quran. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq to be able to recite the Quran, understand the Quran, contemplate the Quran, and apply the Quran in our lives. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of this holy month, for the sake of these holy days and nights, to forgive us our sins, the sins of our parents, the sins of our marhumeen. And we ask Him to hasten the reappearance of our Imam and inshallah include us amongst His sincerest followers. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah for that amazing reflection. It was very beneficial. I had a question here. It says, which app is this on? Basically, the app was Quran Hadi, for those who are wondering. It has amazing translation. It also has tafsir. So if you guys want an app, it's called Quran Hadi. If you all have any other questions, you can ask. I had one question. So you mentioned how we have
So,
tests while we're in.
sorry, I have a question for you before you have a question for me.
Okay.
Just so we don't move on to this Quran Hadi, it's really good to listen to recitation and everything. Just a question, what translation were you using though?
The translation, I'm not sure what it is. It was from the app itself, but the tafsir is from
Um,
Tafsir Burhan.
okay,
I'm not.
tafsir is good. Generally speaking, there's a lot of translations. One of the good translations for us is that of Ali Quli Qarai. I'll
Okay.
type that out. If you know, if even if you don't have it in this app, you can find it in other apps. So you can have two apps, one for listening to the Quran and one for can anyone if you could please just type the Quran Hadi, yeah. Let me just sometimes it's easier to just show the can you just show that? No, I don't know how to show it. Okay.
I
If you could
can.
just
Okay.
if you could just send a link or something maybe or just show it on your phone where what the app looks like because sometimes it's confusing.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll do it one second for all of you because it's a very beneficial app, the Tafsir. We use this app for our Quran reflections as well, other than Ramazan, so it's very beneficial. It looks like this, um, if you guys can see it. And it is on Android and Apple, if I am not wrong. So you guys can.
yeah, it is a really nice app. Even the good thing about the app is even for listening to the Quran, you can listen from like the entire Quran basically with one click. Um,
Yeah. Also,
so
someone
it's
is saying, please do an Arabic grammar course. I would love to join, and I've been searching for so long. So I think we can consider that.
inshallah after Shah Ramadan, we can see if there's enough people interested and inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. Okay, so my question was that you mentioned that we're also tested in terms of ease, right? So when we're tested in terms of ease, how should we react to it other than thanking Allah for the blessings that we have? Like, what should our reaction be in that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So other than thanking Allah, that's good, right? That's good. But opening up that, what does thanking Allah mean? Right? For example, I got blessed with, I don't know, all these material, whatever blessing that I say, Allah tera shukar hai, oh, thank God for this. And that's it. Right? So that's the point. So you're absolutely right that yes, to thank Allah, but what does thanking Allah mean? Thanking Allah means that first of all, you verbally say yes, thank God, praise be to Him, alhamdulillah, shukran lillah, whatever. But then another way to truly be grateful and thank Allah for the blessing is to use that blessing in the right way. So, for example, he gave me, I don't know, like 50 crore rupees as I don't know from where, and so it's a huge blessing, yeah, blessing in the test, like it's a huge like amount. And now I say, okay, Alhamdulillah, Khuda tera shukr hai, thank you so much for giving me 50 crore rupees. Now and then I go on a shopping spree. I get a private jet. I get a penthouse in, I don't know, whatever the cool place is. I don't know, Centaurus, wherever it is. And I start going on a shopping spree, and is this someone who would be considered to be grateful for these blessings, right? Or would it be closer to someone? Yes, they can enjoy it. They can enjoy it, but maybe after beyond a certain amount, they would share with others. They would give to others, not just the wajib homes, not just, okay, 5,000 here, 10,000 here. No, if you have 50 crores, then you don't need that much money, for example, to live, right? So you can give out more. Are you giving that out? Are you trying to help people with it? Are you trying to use it? That's one thing. The other thing is when you're tested with blessings, right? Tested with good. For example, right? I go through university, and Alhamdulillah, God has made me really smart. And I go through university, I do really well, and I go to work, and I'm a genius, and I can do really well, and this and that. And now, a part of being thankful to Allah, a part of being grateful for Allah, is first of all using that in the way of Allah, using my smartness, using my, whatever it is, my blessings, whatever they might be. And then on top of that, not thinking that this is because I put in effort. I did this, therefore I'm here. I did this, therefore I. So not thinking that everything I've done, all the blessings that are coming, and thinking that they're all because of me. No, this is a test for you, for you to understand that the blessings are all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you recognize that? Can you recognize that when you're amidst and you're in um in blessed with so many blessings that you're like completely like drowned in blessings? Are you able to see that or not? So these are some of the ways that, or some of the things that a person who is being tested with extra blessings, are they able to come through that test? And this applies to everything, right? Sometimes the blessing is more money, sometimes it's more knowledge, sometimes it's looks, even something that could be as superficial as looks. Even that can be used in a wrong way and in a right way. Usually in this world, you see, like, if someone is good looking or better looking, they usually take unfair advantage of that. They usually use it in the wrong way, as opposed to, using it for, I don't know, what, somehow to bring people closer to God or whatever it is, or at least not unnecessarily or, in a wrong way using that, whether it's money, whether it's smarts, whether it's looks, whether it's position, anything. Position, right? Position is one thing that maybe is most applicable in Pakistan. That, are you using your position for the right thing? Are you using your position for the wrong thing? Are you using this blessing that you've been blessed with um, in the right way or the wrong way? So all of that is kind of part of of this test that we're in. I hope that answered your question. Okay. Next one, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I wanted to ask you that I'm an architecture student, and during our course we have to make sculptures of mythical human figures. I wanted to ask, what is the kafara, if any? Um, some of what do you mean by mythical? Like, it's just like looks like a superhuman, or um, doesn't really look like someone? Okay. Anyways, there's some scholars superhuman. Oh, wow, cool. What does that look like? Um, there's some scholars that allow that, first of all. Um, and maybe in the case where it doesn't really look like a human and it's just a sculpture, there might not be anything. If you, I don't know if you're a regular on here or not, but if you could message one of the, people in charge of the session, and half man, half fire, no, that should be okay. I think that barely looks like. But if you want, you can message your question, and then inshallah, I can try to see if I can get it more exact. But half man, half fire, no, you should be okay. I think so. Next one, how can we truly make our intentions revolve around Allah when He is beniyaz of everything? I find it hard to word it this way. Oh Allah, I do this for your sake, when I'm the one who's benefiting from, not Him. Would saying I do this to thank you, Allah, would make more sense? I do it for your sake, than I do it for your sake. Um, so maybe instead of saying, I think like if you just translate it a little differently, and these translations are things that, if the Mafahim course, the Arabic course that I was talking about, like these small translations are things that you will be able to do yourself. Like you'll learn this. Anyways, so for example, when you do a niyat, right? What do you say? You say qurbatan ila Allah, right? That's what you say, right? And you're perhaps trying to translate that or translate something else, but you say qurbatan ilallah. What that means is proximity to Allah. So I'm not doing it for Allah. I'm not doing it for his for him, or not for his need, right? But in an attempt to get close to him. So that's one thing. Qurbatan ilallah is to gain proximity to him. When you say, even if you want to use this, right? I do it for your sake. I do it for your sake would mean I do it for the sake that you told me to do it. Not for your sake, as in like, so you can feel better or you will become more complete or you. For your sake means over here. Like for example, your mom or your dad says that, can you please go, I don't know, wash the dishes? And you say, okay, I'm just gonna do this, for your sake. For your sake over here could mean that just because you said so. Although I know you're not tired, I know you're fresh, I know you're not sick, I know you can do it, I know it's easy for you to do it, but I'll do it for your sake in the sense that I'll do it for the sake that you told me to do it. Hope that makes sense.
If there's any other question, you guys can even unmute your mic if you feel more comfortable that way. Right. I think we can wrap it up here. Jazakallah once again, Sayyid. We're really eternally grateful for the efforts and time that you put in. May Allah reward you for it, and may Allah reward the rest of you as well for the time you guys put in. May Allah grant us the tawfiq to act upon whatever we've learned today. Jazakallah once again to all of you, and inshallah.